Do you remember that day? It seems I spoke too vaguely. Allow me to clarify. Do you remember that day when the streets were clogged with cars at high noon, yet devoid of the drivers who used them? Do you remember the numbers, the press releases, the amount of food left in your fridge? Or perhaps, to you, that is not that day. Let me try again. Do you remember that day when the sky was covered in smoke, clouds of ash shrouding a blood-red sun? Do you remember the text messages, the announcements, the lists of shelters and supplies?
Or, the name of this poem is June 9th, 2020. I don't bother to name what I know will never be repeated out loud. I am sitting in the passenger seat of my mother's car and a funeral service is blaring over the radio. She looks in her rearview mirror and tells me, Al Sharpton almost came to my cousin's funeral. And the speakers crack up oxygen molecules into suspended static, or the name of this poem is Everywhere is Ferguson. My sister tells me a girl at her school ran over protesters the other day. Thin hands drumming a bullhorn on the steering wheel, and I tell her to mind the speed limit, humming a Weeping Mary in my throat, the same rhythm as my grandmother during aftermaths. You can make anything into a song if you try hard enough.
Crash, ringing doorbells, plucking vocal cords, chanting verses, all to create a choir. What comes from curving lips is the culmination of a million voices. We sing and sculpt sound, project ideas to the world, participate in a back and forth exchange. The choir multiplies. At times, it's difficult to decipher consonance from dissonance. Either way, we shake with energy, atoms of buzzing ambition and incentive.
On the cleaned, sanitized treadmill, I put my feet on either side of the belt and watch it move, 8 miles per hour beneath me. I wipe down the machinery with a Clorox wipe. I wipe down the LED screen. The day balances on a petri dish. I look at the Crunch Fitness receptionist. I tell her I am building a house around my thoughts. Each time I feel I am misunderstood, I add a new brick to the structure. So far, I've accumulated enough bricks for a wall.
Feet in shoes and get groceries and serve them like it's blue stamped on the packet. At the Armageddon picnic, everyone receives a serviette of nitrogen and glow sticks to place at their feet. Notice how we have reached our word count. There's no summative statement or new construction jobs, only a heart the size of a fist and poster board scabs. A telegram to the New Year's God of Plenty gets delayed. We resolve to be the creation myth, again. How will I explain my father to my nieces? How will I explain the sidewalk to my neighbors? The seconds to midnight announce themselves in orderly lines. It may be inedible, but it's something to put on the table.